be a series to remember, because that one was just simply insane.
I mean, look, it may not have been the highest quality League of Legends, but it was an absolute banger entirely. Like, everything working out incredibly well. And the fact that we ended up with, you know, back and forth with PSG Talon getting early control off of Junja, the Jarvan banned away immediately, Loud coming into this one, and then having Loud coming back, PSG Talon having their the return to form as well. It was absolutely spectacular to see. So, we're going to have to see exactly what the game plan is coming into this. Kai'Sa not going to be banned away this time. We're kind of getting a bit of a mix-up as PSG Talon takes the red side. Xayah, gone. Kai'Sa, probably not first pickable, I don't think, in the current state, but we'll have to see exactly what the plan is. Renekton could be a potential pick here. And still kind of surprised to see, like, Talia and that were, like, higher priority over things like the... I mean, personally, I just think Orianna's so busted at the moment.
Yeah, Orianna, incredible. I'm like, debating in my head whether Kai'Sa is first pickable at this stage, because, I mean... To be honest, I really like this just because Maple's been so good on the Nico. I think it increases in priority for this series. I just feel like Kai'Sa is such a strong pick in terms of the sheer damage output.
Especially compared with something like Jace. Because you end up going, yes, you go
But
like Humble
Jace is
Flame and
banned
all
in
that
this.
kind of. Oh, sorry, Jace is banned away, yeah. But like even the opportunities to go for, hey, we've got that AP mix in the bot lane, and you can go for something like even an Ivern or something like that in the jungle. Means you open up for these kind of like, hey, we can go for the AD mid AP bot kind of idea. We'll have to see exactly what the game plan is. Is Rel going to be picked up here already? Again, keeping that flex opportunity, but Woody, for the most part, looked confident on in the last game. There was one or two missed engages, but I mean, his ultimates at times were keeping Seos in check, but it still means that chances are the Rakan is just going to be picked up by Seos again.
Yeah, and there we go, the Kai'Sa will be locked in the end. I will say, Nico is one of the champions that can make it a bit more difficult to pilot the Kai'Sa during these team fights. Like, you can't afford to use your killer instinct too aggressively unless everything that Tinnos is bringing to the table is already on cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, like, the question for me is, like, what do they want to try and pair this with? Because, again, like, the Jarvan was kind of what we saw a little bit both in day one for PSG and also then coming into this game. They're like, cool, we want to try and go for these compositions that have a ton of AoE. It's never going to be picked up, kind of fitting that AoE style again, and something that can do relatively okay with just clearing waves against the Kai'Sa. But I am curious as to, like, what they want to go in the jungle. Because with the Jarvan gone, I'm not entirely sure what they'd want to try and follow up with this Nico.
Yeah, that'll be the question on how they kind of want to play that combo out. In Nico jungle is a sort of thing. I'm not really anticipating that, though, I will say. It's just going to be the Alistar bringing in. Very good into the Rel. Very good alongside the Sivir just to play that bruiser, that bouncer in front of her.
I'm wondering now if Aji ends up picking up the Renekton here, or if they're like, hey, look, we kind of want to try and bait Robo into the Renekton pick again. Had some moments in the last game, but if you've still got like Kennen and these kind of things up and available, I think you're going to be pretty happy to go for that opportunity.
Or just say, look, we're going to go for the Kennen anyway, and if you pick Renekton, you're screwed. I'm just happy with that. I mean, it got banned in the second rotation last time around. Just saying, look, we want the comfort, we want the team fight ability. Kennen's in a really great spot right now.
Yeah, Kennen's in a very strong spot after getting a couple of those buffs. And even seeing some of those top laners getting their magic resist nerf, like the Renekton, which is why we're seeing the Kennen coming in so happily into that top side. If I'm PSG Talon, I think it's jungle bans coming in. Maybe you get rid of things like the Vi, get rid of the well, the Nocturne's already gone, but like Lee Sin, yeah, another one. But it's just trying to make sure that Croc is going to be uncomfortable because you get first rotation here for Junja. And as well, don't forget, like Junja, he loves playing carries. Like big Nidalee player when he came over from the LPL, when he was playing an EDG. You've also got things like the Lilia that he's been bringing up a lot in his own playstyles as well. So you do have a lot of opportunities here for Junja to try to flex those jungle muscles a little bit.
Certainly do. And Croc having a bit of a hard time in the early game, it has to be said. Junja certainly winning out that matchup. But this time, like you say, Junja can't take the Jarvan for himself. It's still possible that that Rel goes towards him. We'll have to see in the second rotation. And also, we'll have to see what Croc is going to fall back to, because, you know, things like the Poppy got banned away, the Nocturne got banned away. It does feel like quite a targeted draft towards the jungle, because, I mean, that's 6 jungle bans currently. And
the other option that you kind of look at here is something like a Vi for Croc, but yes, it kind of like sets up nicely for you to go like, hey, well, we want to play close range with Alistar, we want to play close range with Nico, but the thing is, it's like, you're going into a Rel, a Kennen, like a lot of those short, like they thrive on those short range opportunities and those short range carries. So you're kind of caught between a bit of a rock and a hard place. So you want a tank Nerly to set this one up, but you don't really have the options to go for it.
It's going to be an interesting. I mean, things like the Viego fall short in the exact same way that you're discussing. Maybe Wukong. It's not really.
I mean, he did get buffed coming
days.
into this, but into patch 1319, but I'm still not 100% sure. Viego going to be taken for Junja. I know that was kind of something you were talking about, Munch, was like maybe you end up taking that one if you want to go for Croc, but like, sorry, you're pointing off screen, but I don't know. It's like, I don't think the Viego is the best option. Yeah, I think it'll be the Vi, but you're kind of playing into the hands of PSG Talon if you go for that.
The Evelyn hover. I do love an Evelyn. Ever since SOFM did some beautiful things in the World Final with the Evelyn versus Rengar.
So the Kha'Zix is going to be picked up. I'm kind of surprised. Kha'Zix, you definitely want like opportunities to try and play in as an assassin in towards the backline, but it's so difficult when you look at like Rel and Kennen, that kind of stuff, and even just the repositioning options that you have on the Kai'Sa, because a lot of these fights are going to be a case of like waiting for these big ultimates on the Kennen and the Rel to bypass you before you go in and target the backline. But if they've already been used, you've got a ton of CC, so it makes things easy for the Kai'Sa to reposition himself away from the Kha'Zix. So I'm a bit nervous for Croc that if he doesn't get this early snowball going and take over for Loud, he's just going to become absolutely useless in the later portions of the game.
I will say though, the setup on this Loud comp
is insane.
Like Alistair and Malphite, the big beefy boys, just boulder it in.
And just in case you missed someone, here's Nico.
Yeah, exactly.
So a lot of AoE, and again, I think both teams kind of realizing, hey, whatever happened, the last game came down to team fights. A lot of this has been a case of, hey, can we find those advantages in skirmishes and fights? So let's just play into that style. Robo definitely going to fall behind on the Malphite in the early stages. It's just not great to try and play up against the Kennen. But when I look at PSG Talent's side, I mean, AP top, AP mid, pseudo AP bot as well. They're building like a little bit of lethality. I think for Wacko, like you kind of have to go for this full crit build here. Otherwise, there's just so many options to like easily pick up early Merc threads to just make things a little bit more difficult for PSG Talent if they play a bit more of an AP heavy style.
Yeah, to be honest, with the way that the comp has gone out, you fully expect like the Kraken Slayer style build for the Kai'Sa. If not, then it's, like you say, Merc Treads should be like infinite value for everyone on the side of Loud. I'm curious how this one's going to go. This feels like, I mean, honestly, the first game was way faster paced than I was expecting coming into the series. I'm curious if PSG are going to try and maintain that early pace that we saw.
I think they kind of have to in this one. Because as I said again, like the Kha'Zix isn't going to have that big of an impact. And this says to me that, hey, look, we want to try and get push in mid with Nico. Should be able to push fast into the Blanc. We want to try and get the push in the bot side as well. And then try and play off that advantage. But it's not the easiest time when it's Sivir into the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa has good push potential as well. And even at least Alistair having the advantage in the matchup in the support role will make it a little bit easier. But definitely this is going to be a case of, can Croc get into Junja's face and kind of right the wrongs we saw in the last game, or is Croc just going to be phased out into a non-threat because of the way the composition operates on the opposite side from that?
Does feel like we're going to have to be looking at those junglers in this one, and especially with the sheer number of jungle bans, they've had to do a little bit of experimentation in bringing the Croc in. You guys can do a bit of experimentation at home if you connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab that Heimerdinger emote. But we'll have to see how this early game's going to go down, Dagda. I'm loving the matchup though. Like, all things considered, draft aside now, like Kha'Zix versus Viego, that's just a banger.
Definitely is. And again, I mean, you got first strike here coming through for Croc. Like, this is I need to get in the face of Junja and try and make things happen. And I think this is Croc versus Antino saying we want to win out in the mid jungle. But already you can see PSG going, look, we're going to start to come in here, see what vision we can get down. And may spot some people in the brush here.
Just gonna face check in here. Sales could actually be in trouble. It's a good knockup, but big damage coming down. The auto followed, the ignite is ticking, but I don't think it's quite enough. Seus walks out just about with his life.
Seus a little bit late on the knockup. So usually with the Alistair, you can just pulverize immediately, and Woody then gets knocked up in the air and doesn't get the crash down himself. But Seus a little bit late means that he actually gets connected with the CC coming through from Woody, and now has to go back to base. A minute 45 on the clock. He's going to miss the entirety of this first wave. Rook can't walk up because he doesn't know where the Viego is. So immediately, this bot lane for PSG Talon off to an early lead.
Phenomenal start, honestly, and off the back of a late invade as well. Really good stuff from PSG and Junja. Not looking to slow things down just yet. Gets a bit of bonus damage onto Tinones in the mid lane as he moves up towards his own top side to make sure Croc can't go for the invade.
It's really smart pathing. So Junja's like, right, I'll take my top side, which means that then there's no way for Croc to try and cross map it. I've also got push for Wacko and Woody guaranteed. You can see the slow push Wacko and Woody are going for. So I can take top side, move back into my own bottom side, pick that one up as well. And if I end up running into Croc, well, I've got Wacko and Woody to help me. So smart opportunities here from Junja to just try and keep Croc down. And again, this was the matchup that we said has to be going in Loud's favor, but it's already off to a poor start.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And even for Croc, like, you want to get out on the map, right? You've got no camps to farm, so you want to try and get out on the map somewhere, but, like, where do you go? Robo already getting absolutely annihilated by Adza. You can't really find a way into mid against the LeBlanc. And if you go towards the bottom side, there were 2 red wards there for PSG still in that jungle. There's one of them's timed out now, one's still on the chickens. Felt very, very difficult. Good start here from Junja, who, I mean, we talked before. He literally made Croc change his solo queue ID after the last time these guys met at MSI, and the matchup is feeling similar so far.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, Junja is complete control. You can even see he's moving up here. Robo taking too much damage, and this time around, Junja.
I mean, it happened in game number 1. It's happening again. First blood taken by Adja. And I mean, it's bad to worse in the top lane. 7 CS versus 19, and so many dying to the tower.
He'll still be able to TP back in and pick up a little bit of the CS, especially the second wave comes through, but I want to keep your eyes on the bot lane. They're like, hey, look, what is Kha'Zix going to try and do? Well, he's going to try and go for Scuttle on this bottom side to answer. The pings were already there. So Woody and Wacko are here going, right, where is Croc? We know he has to be in the bot side. Spot him on the Scuttle. So it means that then Junja's like, okay, we'll need to reset before he tries to go into this bottom side just to try and match the purchase that Croc already has. But Croc can't go into the jungle properly. So you're just buying extra time now where Junja can get back out onto the map, and Croc really can't steal away any of these camps on the bottom side.
Yeah, Woody playing to just kind of guard that bottom segment and make sure there's no opportunity to get back in. Nice little combo from Maple there. Dashes away just in time to dodge Croc's damage. Nicely done in the mid lane. I'd say Maple is having a pretty great tournament so far.
Yeah, Maple's having a great tournament. The fact again that we got game 1 of his first series, insane performance on the Nico to pull himself back into that game. The Jace, he ended up having an amazing performance on, gets MVP for day number 1. And now coming into this as well, the Nico paying dividends, and even just the advantages that he's getting from Tinones and just the trading patterns. Yeah. He's great. Junja now again on towards this bottom side. He's going to be in a position where he'll be able to probably look for a oh well, maybe not with the reset coming through from Wacko, but could potentially look for the re-invade at times in towards the enemy jungle off of the level advantage that he's just barely about to have. You can see just that purple bar underneath his portrait on the Viego. That's the I'm about to tick over to level 5, whereas you can see on Croc he doesn't have that. Basically a full level behind him this stage.
I want to quickly mention this top lane matchup a little bit as well, because Malphite, typically the pick that you go against like big AD bruisers and carries in the top side. Against a Kennen, that passive not really going to do as much work for you. And you see Adja already having some MR in his kit, so the poke aspect of Malphite going to be suffering as well. This feels like a really tough lane matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's about to get worse. Junja's here, knows that he's got the opportunity. Just Robo immediately backing away. He knows that he's in trouble if it ends up in a position where they are actually able to follow. But again, now you've got Junja who's moving in towards his top side. He's going to get vision down again, pick up these small little advantages where he can keep track of Croc and make sure this Kha'Zix just can't really have any opportunity to do anything.
Tinones taking a bit of damage, but doing decently in that mid lane. Like the trades, you know, inconsequential as long as nobody dies, summoners aren't burnt, and you're staying even in CS. Adja now proxy farming.
He's baiting.
Junja was
here. The ult is there.
I wasn't sure if he was going to try and flash for that one, but look how much CS is just dying to the tower. He's on over double Robo's CS at this point. And Junja happy to sacrifice his own CS for a moment because like he's already way up.
Problem is you're losing heavily on bot side though. Loud getting a big crash here. PSG realize that there isn't a Kha'Zix in the area, so they will be able to pick up the majority of this wave, but still losses on that bot side. Dragon should go across. Maple trying to respond, but you just need to back away from this, Maple.
Yeah, this is a little dangerous. Does have his ultimate. The Mimic getting him out to safety. Does seem to be sort of half committal to the fight here. You could see Junja was moving over as well, but felt a little dangerous to be playing with.
It's investing a huge amount to keep this Malphite down, but for PSG talent, but I don't know if it's going to really pay off. Like we saw in their first series, PSG got these early leads for Aja on the cannon, but they weren't really able to play as effectively around Aja and being that setup and that tool to play through these advantages. I feel like when I watch PSG talent, they're far more comfortable playing around Wacko's advantages. So I think at this stage, it's like, look, you've done the damage to Robo. Yeah. Let's try and play more heavily towards the spot side, because Croc being able to get some of that CS and also get the Dragon for Loud is actually a bit of a win right now.
Yeah, it certainly is. Especially in the like, let's say PSG do then start to focus on Dragons for the rest of the game. Well, having that one early just buys you that extra 5 minutes, buys you that time of the game. As Maple looking for Tinones here, wants to get a bit more damage as Junja's coming in from behind, and the Sigil of Malice giving away which one was the real Nico. Huge play from Junja and Maple once again.
Really nice job, and that's exactly what you want to see is Aja.
Oh no. There's just no way out of this one. He has his flash, he has his ultimate. One more shuriken to do the trick though. A W would do the trick, and there it is! Flash still available. The ult pressed just a second too late.
I mean, for Robo, he manages to try and use the ultimate, but Junja was going to be there as well. He was following up with an ult of his own, so I don't even know if Robo was going to get out of that one. This is where PSG talent, this is exactly what I wanted to see. You've got the advantages top, cool. Aja's continuing to push that. Move those advantages elsewhere as well, because now Maple has control over mid. You're getting the Rift Herald, but crucially, you can use this Rift Herald on the bottom side as well to try and get some gold into the hands of Wacko. You don't want the... Oh, hang on. You get the minions he did. But you don't want the... you don't want Root and Sales getting ahead in the 2v2, because as this game starts to progress for PSG talent, it'll be Aja on side lane, Maple on the other one, and it'll be Wacko and Root trying to push waves back and forth. If Root and Sales end up with this massive advantage, it becomes very easy to start to dive them with the Alistar, get control over mid, and this side lane pressure for PSG talent starts to fall apart. So the 2v2 is just as crucial as the solo games.
It certainly is, and like you say, the advantage is there for Aja. He can definitely just continue winning that one. So with the Herald in pocket for Junja, let's see it again. Sigil Malice giving it all away. Beautifully done there by the pair from PSG. And I mean, this one, this one explains itself.
Yeah. This is just sad for Robo. It's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Aja can freeze that wave if you don't try to push it. I think at this stage, you just ult out of here to then flash over the wall, but you can even see where Junja was on the map. It was like, are you really going to get out of that one with the ultimate and the flash still available for Junja?
I think he was trying to get like a max range ult actually into the jungle, so he was like just going in that direction over the wall, but you know, just too little too late. To be fair, I thought he was out of range of the shuriken as well. But unfortunate for him, falls behind, and you know, after such a great game number one as well. But now, like we said before, Junja, Herald in pocket. You'd love to see that focus down for Wacko and Woody. Get them ahead, get them out of this laning phase, get that Kai'Sa to the tank shredding machine that AD Kai'Sa is.
Yeah, and even at the moment, they're just trying to see if they can limit the opportunities for Loud to at least continue onto this bottom side of the map and play off the one lane state they have. You got a Wacko freezing one creep. He's only just taking it there in front of his tower to be like, cool. But now, look at where the wave is. It's Wacko is safe. He can't really be shoved underneath his tower. You got protection as Woody starts to come back out, even with Junja in position. And I feel like they're kind of setting up a bit of a slow push here to see if they can make a play now, as you can look at where Sivir is, overextended, and Junja or Woody on the way.
Junja's moving in. That's a great ward. Just out of range of the control ward there in the river. But Junja now seen on a control ward anyway, so the other ward didn't. It was inconsequential, but still, nice little tag.
I will say, it actually got them out of the harm's way. Like, if Junja's already in that position, Root and Sayas haven't backed off, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So it did end up paying dividends for them in the end. You can see both AD carries now going to reset, but that will open up Woody, who's already starting to move in towards his mid lane. He got a bit of an early reset for the Dragon that's in 40. Wasn't sure if he was going to try and make a play into Tinones, but will just reset instead.
Croc getting a bit cheeky with it. We said we wanted some creativity here. He was forced onto this Kha'Zix pick by the just sheer amount of jungle bans in the draft. As the Herald just goes in the mid lane instead. They decide they can't make it happen in the bottom lane, but Aja playing this super safe. Croc realizes he can't stay here forever. Has to just back away.
Well, for Croc, I think it's worth just continue to invest in that top side. I would have preferred if he cleared his camp, then went to try to go for that play on top end, because you can't really contest Dragon right now. I mean, Aja has TP in. Look at all the different warriors that are littered in towards the backline here as well on the minimap. Like, you got several of them all over the backline. And you're going to be in a position where, in that bottom side jungle, where Aja, happy with Flash, to just go in towards one of those and immediately get in onto Loud, regardless of what direction they try to contest this dragon from.
The nice thing for Loud in reference to Vision is the Umbral Glaive's been finished for Croc, so he can contest Vision somewhat. This little Q onto Woody there. Some gold from his first strike as stun headed towards Seos. But Root just trying to fight for Prio, trying to use those Sivir abilities to clear the wave as fast as physically possible. Get his team into the river, but it's like Woody and Junja trying to just play bouncer here, trying to disallow entry. Woody flies across the play here as Wacko dives into the backline, but Seos is so tanky, Junja has to retreat, and Tinones finds an ultimate onto Maple, but he's gone too deep. He's taken down, and Aja in the meantime finishes off Seos. Suddenly Robo and Root are found alone as Croc falls.
Wacko played that fight fantastically. PSG Talon, they managed to back away, reset the fight long enough for Aja to come in, and immediately Loud are taken out.
Robo's not taking a hit from Maple. I love how aggressive Maple is on this LeBlanc. No respect given whatsoever.
He's had a few years to play it.
Yeah,
just casual, several years. But I mean, really nice stuff from PSG Talon again. This is kind of what we're talking about. This is why I wasn't the biggest fan of the Kazakhs as we start to come in, because you cop it in the replay here. So you get a great engage from Seos. Wacko completely separated. Croc turns onto Wacko and is like, oh yeah, I'm going for the squishy 80 carry. Where'd he go? Wacko completely on the opposite side of the fight, and that's the CC setup we're talking about. Junja just barely managing to escape, and because Loud had all been forced forward onto that fight, Ashley's got a brilliant TP spot. And again, this was already pre-set up. All these wards that we talked about were already there, but now Seos is on top side.
Maple does get stunned. There's the Tangle Bobs as well. Do they have the damage to finish him off, though? Distortion surely available. Mimic on cooldown, but Maple still gets out with his life. He's just so damn slippery.
He had just TP to the top side though, so at least you will be able to get a bit of damage on towards his top side. Turret plate's about to fall in 15 seconds, so you won't get another plate. Although actually, LeBlanc's sticking around. I wasn't sure how much Loud wanted to invest onto this top side, but I think at this stage, like, this is where, if I'm Loud, you kind of need to hard force every small opportunity you have. Like, get your chip damage on the tower, because your team fights aren't going to continue to go your way. And trying to control these side lanes is going to become more and more difficult if you can't have Seos roam like that.
It's becoming difficult, it has to be said, for Loud. I mean, it's a 5,000 gold lead. The silver lining is, A, it's a Cloud Soul, and B, they managed to get that first Drake. That's kind of brutal to look at. I'm not going to lie. Our MasterCard lane economy snapshot is... I think that's the first time where I've seen all 5 lanes in one color.
Yeah. Things could definitely be going better for Loud. And again, this isn't like the last hurrah for Loud. This is a case of, hey, you get your position in the qualification match as the first seed from Group A, but even if they lose here, they will still have another opportunity. It's just trying to avoid like the top seed from Group B would have been a nice opportunity for them, and they will still have to play against the winner of matches later as Azu.
He's 2 levels up right now. Robo just has no hope of a dream of contesting. He's got his Mythic and a half item and boots against pretty much just Merc Treads and a Kindle Gem. Inside of Robo, that 1v1 is not pretty at this stage. Tinones being chased out at the top side as well. It feels like across the board, everything looking fantastic for PSG. And, you know, headed towards, if this game continues the way it's going, headed towards our second set of Worlds Qualification Series. This one actually qualifying for the main stage of Worlds.
Oh, good flash from Aja there. Just barely able to escape away from Robo. But I like the plays from Loud. They're like, hey, look, we know Junja's going to be on this top side. He's going to be Rift Herald. We need to start making plays. We need to find opportunities to get picks and, like, get something back for ourselves. But with Aja having flash there, that's not quite working out. 3 kills onto the cannon. Now you got Junja's looking for Tin on the top side.
Top Blossom going to be used defensively here. Junja knows he can't dive that one, but I love the way that Junja does this. He was doing this right at the very start of the game, where it's like, look, Maple just needs to crash this wave. I'm just going to kind of all in you, so you're forced away. There's no way you can contest this. And just put the solo lanes behind. He's doing it to Tinones. He was doing it to Robo earlier. It's just great play.
And it's just off the back of, hey, I'm about to reset anyway. So It doesn't matter how much damage you deal to me. I'm going to go heal up. So, as you say, you get to crash that wave. Now you get a nice back timer for Maple as well. He's uncontested on that push. And again, you're going to have, well, someone has to go and push out top side. Well, Aja has full control of her bot side. and I got a bloody Rift Herald, so I'm just going to pop that down in mid lane. We can all collapse if we want to, and if enough members of Loud don't show up, or we're just going to be able to take this fight with Aja and everyone coming in tow. So again, this is PSG Talent just playing the game out nice and easy.
Yeah, and with a Viego, with a Rel as well, you're not going to be shy when it comes to diving. If they get out of position, oh no, the chain still lands after the flash. Robo gets underneath the tower with that ultimate available. PSG realize that no matter how far ahead you are, you don't necessarily want to dive there.
Merc thread value is still a thing here to a certain extent for PSG Talent. So you can see there, Robo not being CC'd as long, thanks to the tenacity, means he's able to step away. Junja going to be able to hop out. But again, you get control over bot side. Aja's just pushed in top. I'd love to see Aja actually come down river here to threaten the mid lane, because you can see for PSG Talent, they're trying to get control over this jungle to spot out where Loud are so they can try and take this mid lane tower.
We'll see if they can get that set up. Get the Herald down, use the, I was going to say the purple worm. It's not the purple worm, it's the purple turtle? Purple turtle. It's going to be slapped down in the mid lane. Is it a turtle? Probably not. It's more of a crab, I guess. Lobster? I don't know.
It's more of a failure at the moment.
Yeah, it's sort of a flopster at this point, as their eye is popped. And it will not get the charge. A little overzealous there from Junja. That's the value of Alistair right there.
I mean, that was just kind of silly. Again, like we talked about all the setup you have. Aja full control, but he's kind of just pottering around on top side, not really doing particularly much. Like, you could have brought him down to threaten Loud and pushed him away, so you could have got a bit more, but not willing to bring him down means that now Loud are actually forcing Aja away as this wave crashes from Robo on top side. So Loud trying to cross map for the inevitable take that Maple's going to have on the bot lane tower and the dragon here for PSG Talent. So nicely done, but they do actually need to commit to the tower versus whatever is happening right now for Loud.
Yeah, not really hitting the tower, just going to be proxying some waves. And trying to deny some CS, trying to close the gap in CS between the two top laners. Good to see Croc at least managing to get some help for Robo up there, trying to get him a little bit back into the game. Once you get like one item on Malphite, you're pretty much full build at that stage. Yeah, so that'll help him get towards that stage. Sales is going to spot Junja. He'll be able to walk away though. Jumps into the mist and slides out to safety.
Yeah, still though, like, I think there's opportunities for Loud to push their advantages more. And I don't mean like advantages in, like, they are clearly behind, but it's like, if you see PSG Talent going for a cross map on bot side, commit for the tower. Like, Aja's not really going to be able to take it. If he walks up, you have a Malphite ultimate that immediately sends him to the Shadow Realm. So try and make that happen. But they're trying to play too heavily for the pick versus the actual objective that could just guarantee them gold.
Maple is in a really odd... Oh, no. Aja doesn't even need to flash. Robo obviously thought he was still recalling. Great reactions from Aja. Dodges away from the ultimate. Tough game on the Malphite here. And I thought Maple was in trouble because, you know, you had Croc and Robo above him, the rest of the team below him. But they obviously didn't have vision of where Maple was. I think if they'd gone for a collapse on Maple, that could have been so much more positive.
This game is already getting completely out of control.
Yeah.
Loud. A 7,000 gold lead coming through for PSG Talent. Aja's massive. You're looking at a Wacko who's about to pick up his second item as well. Yes, the Rift Tower does make it a little bit easier for them to hold on to mid tower, but that's not going to last long as Aja...
I think, yeah, he's just going to ult this, right? Pop Blossom comes on out. Tinones has the flash as well. Ult for ult there. As now Croc finds an opportunity to jump in, but doesn't have the damage to finish. Oh, Root with a good spell shield there. Protects his jungler. Maple hunting on the sides, but I don't think he'll find anyone.
I think that was the most alert cow I've ever seen as well. Sales just like, where the hell is this Maple coming from? There is a LeBlanc in the area and there's a very low bug, but able to back away from that one. But again, you can see the desperation. Croc launching himself in because they want to hold on to this mid lane tower, but it's so difficult. Just the minions alone and one auto from Junja going to take that one down. And now you're losing control of your bot side jungle. You're going to lose already control of your top side. You can see already how hard that is for Loud to hold on to any sort of vision on that top end of the map. And it's just going to continue to push forward here.
Yeah, Aja having a fantastic game for himself. 3-0-2. The damage out from the cannon. I mean, throughout the laning, his damage numbers are probably the highest in the game just because, you know, he's laning against the Malphite. You just get to poke endlessly. But when it comes to those team fights, the throughput he will get. 2 items finished off here. Actually going for a full defensive item in the Banshees as well. Upgrading the tier 2 he bought earlier on. As Robo might have stepped too far forward here. Croc in the area as well, but Robo dodges the chains. He'll be okay.
Still though, as you pushing on bot side, you got control over mid. PSG are just setting up the vision around this Baron, and they have a ton of Baron. Well, I say that. Wacko has a ton of Baron damage. Maple, not so much, and you don't really have a tank for PSG talent. So the opportunities, oh, hang on, for them to...
Junja could be in trouble here. It's the clone from Tinones. It's not the real one. But Junja backs away, has the red buff.
But yeah, the opportunities for PSG talent to like rush down a Baron aren't really there. Because if you put yourself into a pit, that's where Loud can actually try and play off of the ultimate from Malphite, Tinones coming in, Seos having the CC. So they need to find picks and plays before they can try and rush down a Baron.
And I feel like we're really seeing the patient, slow gaming that we were talking about before the series began, where they've got the lead, they know they've got the lead. Don't overextend, don't overdo it. They're just trying to poke, and they're doing a great job of just tracking Croc. I can't remember seeing a single time where Croc has had the drop on someone to get that big Kha'Zix burst off. Oh no.
Might have it the other way around. It's the other way around.
It's Croc on the drop. Taken down, and the stun onto Root as well. No, flashes under the tower, but Maple's with him. Rooted under the tower. What a route from Tinones there to answer a kill onto Maple. TP in from Robo. And he's gone.
He made to look like a bot in that one, immediately taken out as he comes underneath the tower, and Wacko picking up the kill. We said they needed the picks before the Baron. Well, here you go. There's your Baron.
My God, Adja is having an incredible game for himself. 4-0-4, but the Kennen has been found. He got found by Croc, and Croc regretted that decision. My goodness.
He's just gone. There's nothing you can do. Root as well, forced to flash away. As you say, Tinone's great binding, but Wacko's in a perfect position. Robo TP's in way too far forward. Like, there's zero follow-up at this stage, and you've no ultimate for Tinones, even if he does get a decent ultimate there for Robo. So the fight was done and dusted, and now PSG talent, like, 10,000 gold lead at 23 minutes. This one's done.
It's absolutely brutal to witness, and it's heartbreaking for Loud as well. Like, they got knocked out of MSI by PSG. It was a 2-0 then, and it's looking like a 2-0 now unless some kind of miracle can occur. PSG with Baron in pocket. They've already got two Drakes looking for a third here as Robo going to be forced away. And I love how aggressive they are, but in a non-committal way, right? Just forcing them away, not fully committing to a fight just yet, but making sure Loud know this is not their jungle anymore. Wait, Tinones? Whew, I didn't even realize he was a minion, but PSG did.
I mean, that's the thing, though, for PSG talent, as you say, they've been basically having this 1-4 pressure the entire time. They push in top, they push in mid, they group in, get their vision established, and then re-push the waves again so they can clearly work on the towers without having to worry about Loud cutting them off from different places. It's super slow, it's methodical, but it's exactly the way PSG talent need to play this. And now, all Louder turrets apart from that top one are going to be down, which means that realistically Loud are just going to be stuck in their own base with third Dragon up available for PSG talent to take now. They've got so many opportunities to look for picks. Like, if you overextend pretty much as anyone apart from Robo, you just die to Maple or Raji at this stage.
Yeah. And now, off the back of taking the tier 2 at the bot side, pushing out in the mid lane as well, they can move back, take this Drake. That's sole point for PSG. And, you know, this kind of game kind of reminds you that, you know, Junja, he was the sub on that EDG roster that won the World Championship. Corgi was the assistant coach at the time, now head coach of this team. Seos will get a headbutt on the blue buff, but Wacko, just following him over. The W goes wide. Seos gets out with his life.
I mean, I think Seo's pretty happy that the blue buff tanked some of those void missiles, because that was not going to be a pretty one if he ended up getting tanked by all that. But again, this is what you're talking about, right? PSG talent, the pedigree that they have in this roster, they know how to close out games when they get leads. Now, we have seen some shakiness from them. They're going to be put down to nerves, going to be put down to some other stuff maybe when you look at them coming into it. But this is kind of the PSG talent that a lot of people expect to see coming into World Play-ins, and why they were the favorite to get out of Group A.
You know, one thing I really want to see, Dagda, you know, you see the Nico interaction where they send the clone and it recalls and they get vision for ages. I want to see someone send the clone the wrong direction, run forwards, recall, and get a big pop blossom like this one from Tinones. That's a pick onto Woody. Loud showing that they're not out of this one just yet, or are they? Maple jumps in and answers in kind.
Immediately, he's just wagging the finger. No, 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 no. That's not how this one's going to go down. Gets the kill back, but still Loud. They do shut down the pressure on the top side. They get to hold on to that outer turret, and it was just a little bit of over-aggression coming through from PSG, not checking exactly where Tinones was going to be. So nicely done here, and we get to see it just not counting the minions. They don't cop it. Wacko does manage to get caught, but it's Woody who ends up paying the price as well.
manages to get himself out with the cleanse, but Maple instantly gets back over, answers it. Seos, everything was on cooldown. They'd already used it in the previous play, so Maple saw that window of opportunity and punished immediately. See big damage coming out from Root actually as well, not just from Tinnos.
Yeah, Root is getting to a point where he is incredibly strong, but again, the problem is actually trying to play these team fights out. Like when Aju's on top of you, Maple's threatening you, Woody's there as well. It's a very similar story to what we actually saw from Root in the last game, where yes, he's in a good spot. It's just being in a position to deal that damage is going to be very, very difficult, especially when I don't really think PSG Talon are going to take a lot of team fights. It's going to be more a case of what we're seeing at the moment, right? Maple pushing on top, Aju threaten bot side, have Wacko push in mid, and just make it as difficult as possible. Woody, are you overextended again?
Seos trying to get forward, but Junja gets out with his life. And you can see on the minimap, Aju is sneaking further and further forwards. He wants a pick when someone tries to rotate through the bottom side, but Junja, forget rotations, he just wants a 1v1 with Robo right now, but Malphite's hard to get onto. Wacko caught out alone. Oh, the killer instinct over the wall though. And now Aju jumps into everyone. The slicing Maelstrom doing exactly that. Tinnos with a good root, but it's over for Loud. That might just be the straw that breaks the camel's back, or the Alistair's back in this situation. PSG Talon. They're showing that they've got claws.
And they managed to get the turnaround kill. The cow, the trader, brings it back as that dive underneath the tower for Junja. They're just waiting on waves to crack up in the base. They won't finish the game here. 20 seconds until everyone's up will be a bit much, but they can get the top tower, they can get mid inhibitor, and maybe even crack open the top side of the map, or top inhibitor, but no, it looks like they're just going to go for reset. Baron in 45 seconds, and just look to play off that mid super minion wave to look for the Baron, but I mean, this was a great opportunity, but again, what we were talking about, Wacko, the opportunity to reposition with Killer Instinct, and as you look at the setup, even with Croc trying to hop out, he goes down, Wacko's able to make his way back in, and then the follow-up from Maple here, the CC down Sales, and watch Junja, he gets the kill, gets the pick, and immediately flash combo over the wall to pick off Tino.
He's like, I've played Aarons before, this ain't my first game on Alistair, watch this combo.
Not his first rodeo.
On in. I will say as well, it's got to be brutal for Loud when you see that opportunity. But the Killer Instinct circle is not that big. They just happen to be stood a little bit too close to the wall for Wacko to get out. And Root used everything to try and be a part of that play. He'd already used all of his cooldowns, so then no way out when Aju jumps in. Rock getting a bit of damage down. Oh no, they could be in serious trouble. Wacko straight into the backside of the play, and he's going to stopwatch as well. Robo though wants to answer. Wacko turns invisible, gets over to the rest of his team, and actually gets away with it. Wacko living up to his name, because that was crazy.
This team's Kai'Sa versus the enemy team's Kai'Sa right now. What a play from Wacko. Assassinates the cow on the backside and then manages to step away. PSG Talon, they know they have control. Baron started as a two-man with Wacko and Junja, while the rest of them are positioning themselves for Dragon Soul as well. What a play from PSG.
It feels so good to see PSG firing on all cylinders like this as well, because they came in as a favorite for play-ins. Like, I don't think anyone's under any illusions there, but it's good to see that, like, really come into form. It's good to see them live up to that expectations, because quite often you get disappointed with that kind of expectation.
Look, Loud struggling with the walls once again. Sales not able to get over it. Then you've got the setup here from Wacko, like the assassination immediately. Sorry, onto the Kazakhs on the back line. Sales actually does the Judge and Aji off on the side. And here then as well, the invisibility working massively there, so you can't really get the follow-up on the rest of the play.
I mean, like, living for all AD carries right here. Wacko assassinating Kazakhs. Like, all of the solo queue carries out there that have been killed 1,000 times by Kazakhs on the last few patches are praising Wacko right now. Revenge for all of us.
Yeah, I think they're kind of happy to see a 0-4 Kazakhs, but I know that Loud, a lot of the Brazilian fans are not going to be. Again, they will end up going up the, being put down into the losers bracket, which means they will end up facing off against the winner of GAM and or7. Whereas PSG Talon lock themselves that first seed into the qualification match if they can finish this one out.
Croc jumps in onto Maple, and do you want to see a magic trick? Because I'm going to make this bug disappear. Maple absolutely one-shotting him, and that is going to open this bot lane inhibitor wide. To be honest, it might just open the game wide.
Yeah, it's a bit sad for Croc. I mean, Sigil of Windshield kind of taking the insect out at this stage. PSG pushing in on the bottom side. You got Aji again, completely threatening off on this top side as they'll go in.
Yeah, it's just onto Woody for now. It's a stun onto the 2 tanks, but Seos is just not tanky enough against the onslaught from Wacko here. That'll be the inhib taken down. That's 2 people dead for another 10 seconds until Croc comes back onto the map. Junja again showing off his Alistair skills under the tower. As Maple's clone goes down. Oh, wait, was that the real Maple?
No, it was the Ricochet actually ended up taking him out on the back line as he went back. So now a little bit more of an even one. Root, what can you do? He's trying to stand this.
Wacko, big combo, and here comes Adja. Croc invincible for a second, but Wacko is still untouched. 1v1 of the AD carries on the fountain here as Wacko finishes off the support. Croc in trouble, but Wacko didn't have the damage and he stepped on the fountain. Root has a chance here, but it doesn't matter! Quadra kill for Wacko! The man is insane! And PSG one step closer to the Swiss.
Wacko says it's not your time today, Root. Pentakill was picked up by Root on the first day, but not going to be the case here. The hero performance so close, but Wacko one step ahead in this one.
Absolute. I love the confidence on that, guys. Literally took a shot from the fountain laser to finish that kill off. Like, if that's not supreme confidence, I don't know what is. There they are. PSG Talon take a bow after that performance.
It's hard not to be confident after a performance like that. Junja destroying Croc all series long in that jungle matchup. Then you have Maple, who's absolutely massive on this LeBlanc controlling things. Aja getting that early lead and taking over against Robo. Like, at that stage, the confidence has got to be sky high, and Wacko's like, oh, fantastic, I can just do whatever the hell I want here. Junja with the thumbs up as well.
The most nervous thumbs up I've ever seen, I think. Oh, fantastic stuff from PSG Talon. But as we prepare for our second series of the day, let's check out some of the behind-the-scenes footage of our teams on stage, thanks to the Oppo Cam.